Hello, students. Right now we're going to look at number 3 under Thursday, Digital 9/24/2020. Number 3 says, read this short article from the Pew Research Center, a nonpartisan organization, and view the charts that display modern inequality. So I'm going to exit out of here and go to Notability. All right. So the article is called Facts About Economic Inequality in the U.S. If you want to read the full article, you can just click on that link back um, in your agenda in your Google Doc and open up this article. Click that link, and you can read the full article here. So it says, pictured below, houses in Naples, Florida. The first graph that you see here is the highest earning 20% of families made more than half of all U.S. income in 2018. So over here it says the top 20% of earners. Over the past 50 years, the highest earning 20% of U.S. households have steadily brought in a large share of the country's total income. In 2018, households in the top fifth of earners with incomes of 130,000 or more that year brought in 52% of all U.S. income, more than the lower four-fifths combined, according to Census Bureau data. In 1968, by comparison, the top earning 20% of households brought in 43% of the nation's income, while those in the lower four income quintiles accounted for 56%. Among the top 5% of households, I'm right here, among the top 5% of households, those with incomes of at least 248,729 in 2018, their share of all U.S. income rose from 16% in 1968 to 23% in 2018. So if you look at your chart here, we have the lowest 20%, and our x-axis has years, our y-axis is percentages. So our lowest 20, our middle 20, and then our highest 20. Number 2, recovery since recession. The wealth gap between America's richest and poorest families more than doubled from 1989 to 2016, according to a recent analysis by the center. Another way of measuring inequality is to look at household wealth, also known as net worth, or the value of assets owned by a family, such as home or savings account minus outstanding debt. So let's look at that net worth again. It does a really good job of explaining what it is. So if you think of, one day that you are going to have a job and you're going to have a house and car and all those things, all your assets, so all your valuables, your home, your savings account, all of that money minus any debt you have. So if you have a mortgage, a house mortgage, a car payment, you have to subtract those out, and that gives you your net worth. So then, obviously, it goes on to say, such as a mortgage or a student loan. In 1989, the richest 5% of families had 114 times as much wealth as families in the second quintile, one tier above the lowest. At the median, 2.3 million compared with $20,300. By 2016, the top 5% held 248 times as much wealth at the median. The median wealth of the poorest 20% is either zero or negative in most years we examined. The richest families are also the ones whose wealth increased in the years after the start of the Great Recession. From 2007 to 2016, the median net worth of the top 20% increased 13% to 1.2 million. For the top 5%, it increased by 4% to 4.8 million. In contrast, the median net worth of families in lower tiers of wealth decreased by at least 20%. So our lower income families, their average net worth is dropping at least by 20%, this article is saying. Families in the second lowest fifth experience a 39% loss from 32,100 in 2007 to 19,500 in 2016. So that's that chart. So if you look up here in this nice little graph, the richest families are the only group that have gained wealth since the Great Recession. So you can see that by looking at these numbers, or not these numbers, but these categories. So we have our second fifth, our third fifth, fourth fifth, the highest fifth, and the top 5%. I'm going to erase that so you can tell the difference between colors of those. Number 3, growth over time. It says middle class incomes have grown at a slower rate than upper tier incomes over the past 5 decades, so that's 50 years, the same analysis found. From 1970 to 2018, the median middle class income increased from $58,100 to $86,600, gain of 49%. By comparison, the median income for upper tier households grew 64% over that time, from $126,000 to $207,400. The share of American adults who live in middle income households has decreased from 61% in 1971 to 51% in 2019. During this time, the share of adults in the upper income tier increased from 14% to 20%, and the share in the lower income tier increased from 25% to 29%. So our graphs down here, the gaps in income between upper income and middle and lower income households are rising, and the share held by middle income households is falling. So you can look at your legend again, upper, middle, lower. You can see that the upper continues to grow through the years from 1970 to 2018. But if you look at the middle and the lower, those did not increase. They increased a little bit, but not by much. All right. So that is the end of the read aloud for this this document. I'm going to flip back over to your agenda so you can see what you need to do next. All right, so if we look at your agenda, we just got done reading the short article, and there's a Google form that you have to fill out. So if you look at 3A and you click on the form, I'm going to open it up and show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like, and you're going to need to fill this out. So you need to put your name, your first name and your last name, put which block you are in. Question 1 says, cite details from the Pew Research article to provide a brief overview of modern wealth inequality in the United States. So when it's asking you to cite details, that means you need to go and you need to find a quote and use it to help you provide a brief overview of that article. Question 2 says, do you think that inequality is a problem that should be addressed? So yes, no, or geez, I'm not sure. In the last one, why or why not? Cite any material from today. So any of the other 2 articles that you read, you can cite from those articles to help support your answer if you think that inequality is a problem that should be addressed. All right, if you need to listen to this again, just start the video over. If you have questions or need anything clarified, please send me an email. Thanks so much.